It's the evening of November 23rd, 2024. On the stage of the Road to UFC finals in Macau, Chinese fighter Shi Ming stunned the world.
The height difference is just too much to get any.
Once doubted for her small stature, Shi Ming launched a devastating head kick, knocking out her opponent and seizing the championship. The arena exploded. The underdog had done the impossible. But for Shi Ming, the excitement didn't last long.
When the referee stopped the fight and I won, I was thrilled for just 1 second. Then I turned around and saw her lying there. In that moment, it felt like I fell from the mountaintop into a deep valley.
As medics rushed her unconscious opponent out of the octagon, Shi Ming stood heavy-hearted. Guilt washed over her. The instinct, not of a fighter, but of a doctor. Inside the cage, she's fierce and unyielding. But outside of it, Shi Ming is soft-spoken, quiet and even a bit shy, with her dimples flickering when she smiles, a contrast that has left a lasting impression on many.
I've seen a lot of funny comments online. Some even call me a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Some have nicknamed her the female Wong Fei Hung, after the legendary Chinese martial artist and physician known for his fighting prowess and healing hands. But if you ask Shi Ming herself, she prefers Sister 13, the fearless, sharp-witted heroine from the 1998 Hong Kong film Portland Street Blues, a woman who held her ground in a world dominated by men. Wearing a white coat, thick-frame glasses and her long hair tied back in a low ponytail, Shi Ming works as a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner at a hospital in Kunming, Yunnan Province. She specializes in acupuncture, therapeutic massage, and traditional treatments for conditions like stroke, chronic pain, and age-related illnesses. After her stunning UFC victory, her life changed almost overnight, not just with a wave of new fans, but also with a flood of new patients.
Some days, all my appointment slots are booked out. As a young doctor, it's rare to see that kind of demand.
Shi Ming kept her fighting life low profile, so many of her colleagues were shocked to discover her double life. Even with her family, she chose not to tell her parents about her involvement in mixed martial arts, wanting to spare them from unnecessary worry. Growing up in Kunming, Shi Ming's love for combat sports started early. At just 13 years old, she stepped into her first taekwondo class.
I really liked it. Back then, taekwondo was super popular. All these kids in white uniforms, breaking balls, spinning and jumping. It was so much fun.
Later, she branched out into Sanda, Chinese kickboxing, and Muay Thai, laying the foundation for the fighter she would one day become. Throughout her teenage years, sports were more than just a hobby. They became her ticket to a bigger world.
The organizers would host competitions at tourist spots. At first, it was mostly around Yunnan. We'd compete, then explore it, and then head home. Later, with Sanda, we traveled even farther to neighboring provinces, which allowed me to see the outside world.
Her choice to become a medical professional is closely tied to her family. Both of her grandparents were TCM doctors. As a child, she spent countless hours in their clinic. The warm, earthy smell of herbs became part of her earliest memories. Following their path, Shi Ming enrolled at Yunnan University of Traditional Chinese Medicine. The same year, she stumbled into something new. MMA, mixed martial arts, offered her an escape from textbooks and academic life. She squeezed in training sessions between classes and exams. Before long, she was invited to a fight. Curious, the then 20-year-old accepted the invitation.
I don't think I'm someone with a strong desire to win, but there was definitely a pull, an urge to experience it for myself.
Looking back, she recalls that she didn't fully understand what MMA was at the time or the rules. She only remembers the gloves being incredibly small and how much it hurt when she got hit. The real turning point came in 2017 when she met her coach, Baher Amanolahi. Hailing from Iran, Baher lives a double life too. He is an economics professor by day and seasoned MMA trainer by night.
I watched his fight videos. He would finish matches within just 5 minutes. But for most of us, we would slug it out for 15 minutes and wait for the judge's decision.
Things began to change after she started training under Baher. In less than a year, she began winning at various events. Upon graduating in 2018, Shi Ming became a full-time acupuncturist. However, she didn't let go of her passion for combat sports. Once her hospital shifts ended, she would head straight to the gym for training. Driven and disciplined, she stuck to a strict, healthy diet, low fat, high protein, and low carb, that she continues to follow to this day. Despite training just 6 hours a week, far less than her full-time peers, her progress amazed even her coach. But her physical disadvantages were apparent. Standing at 5 foot 2 inches, her height, build and reach were unremarkable compared to many of her peers. To make matters more challenging, she wore glasses. As a nearsighted fighter, she often found herself competing in the octagon without a clear view of everything happening around her.
It definitely has an influence, like not being able to read my opponent's eyes. If they are planning a kick, they might glance down at my legs first, but with my vision, I can't see clearly where they are looking.
Her limitations pushed her to rely on special technique. After every fight, Shi Ming would turn to her notebook, meticulously breaking down each round, analyzing every move and mistake with detailed sketches. Over time, she has developed her own way of overcoming these disadvantages. At first, I saw my short arms and poor vision as weaknesses, things I really wanted to fix. But now I realize they forced me to sharpen my technique. If an opponent makes a move in a certain direction, I can anticipate what's coming and prepare for it. So when a punch or kick comes, it doesn't catch me off guard. Especially after training wrestling with Coach Bager, I learned to fight in close quarters. Once I've got my hands on my opponent, I don't need my eyes. I can feel where they are and predict their next move. Meanwhile, Shi Ming's medical expertise has proven invaluable to her athletic career. She uses acupuncture and therapeutic massage to help both herself and fellow athletes, relieve pain and aid in recovery. In 2021, Shi Ming got an opportunity to train at the UFC Performance Institute in Shanghai. The Ultimate Fighting Championship, the world's leading professional mixed martial arts organization, made its debut in China in 2012. In recent years, it has gained massive popularity with Chinese fighters like Zhang Weili rising to global prominence through the platform. Shi Ming says her time in Shanghai opened her eyes to an entirely new world.
在上海精英训练中心的时候，我看到的不只是一个训练中心，
When I trained at the UFC Performance Institute in Shanghai, I didn't just see a gym. I witnessed the true scale of the UFC, their cutting-edge scientific approach to training, and the incredible facilities. When I returned to Kunming, I shared everything with my coach. I told him about my wish to compete in the UFC. That's when we decided to pursue the dream together and began preparing for my journey to the UFC.
But the road ahead wasn't smooth. Shi Ming faced two major injuries, a torn knee ligament and a fractured nose. Both knocked her out of training and competition for over a year, a period that tested her patience and resilience. Finally, in March 2024, Shi Ming received her invitation to the Road to UFC tournament.
The moment my coach and I received the notification, we knew I was destined to win the championship. We had prepared meticulously. All I needed was an opportunity to prove myself, and once it came, we were determined to seize it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the Road to UFC.
Yet in both the quarterfinals and semifinals, Shi Ming showed moments of hesitation. In the heat of battle, her instincts as a medical professional crept in. She found herself holding back, reluctant to inflict serious damage on her opponents. And that hesitation nearly cost her.
In my first fight, when my opponent suddenly recovered and tried to pin me down, I had to use more energy and technique to regain position and keep fighting.
Though she won both fights, many questioned whether she had enough finishing power to succeed at the highest level. She knew something had to change. When the finals came, against the towering 22-year-old Chinese contender Feng Xiaozan, Shi Ming made a promise to herself. No hesitation, no mercy.
Before this fight, I made up my mind. I would finish my opponent. Every training session, I would mentally drill it into myself. You will end this fight. You will knock her down.
Against the much taller opponent, Shi Ming initially struggled to find her range.
The height difference is just too much.
However, in the third round, she dipped her hips and launched a rocket-like right high kick, slamming into Feng's neck. Even after Feng crumpled to the canvas, Shi Ming dived in, unleashing a flurry of ground and pound until the referee pulled her away. UFC champion Zhang Weili, who was present for the fight, jumped from her seat. She later said the knockout made her hair stand on end. Shi Ming did it. This time, she was determined to win.
Tournament winner from Kunming, China, Shi Ming!
I'm thrilled to be here in Macau and incredibly excited to participate in this UFC event. I will officially sign with the UFC as the Road to UFC tournament champion. In the future, I will showcase the new generation of Chinese power inside the octagon. I hope to become the next Zhang Weili or Yan Xiaonan. Thank you all.
After the fight, when Shi Ming finally checked her phone, she found over 500 messages and countless missed calls. At the same time, she was concerned when she saw her opponent had been rushed to hospital. Thankfully, doctors later confirmed she was fine, a huge relief for Shi Ming. Normally, she would review fight footage with her coach, but this time she couldn't bring herself to watch it. As the 16th Chinese athlete to join the UFC roster, Shi Ming has stepped into a new chapter of her life. After months of juggling hospital shifts and intense training sessions, she finally made her UFC debut in Shanghai on August 22nd. To make sure her work at the hospital wouldn't be affected, Shi Ming only took 6 days off to compete. That day, after 3 grueling rounds, she lost to Brazilian fighter Bruna Brazil by decision. The result wasn't quite what she had hoped for, but instead of dwelling on the loss, Shi Ming and her coach immediately sat down to watch the replay, analyzing every move to see how she could improve. She admits that as her fame has grown, so have people's expectations, and she can feel the pressure mounting. After returning to Kunming, she allowed herself a short break before diving straight back into training. Despite the setback, Shi Ming sees this as another step on her journey forward. Her next goal is to break into the top 15 of the world rankings, and as she continues to chase that dream, she's not letting go of her other passion, traditional Chinese medicine. Balancing both worlds, she's determined to heal, fight, and keep moving forward. That's it for today's episode of Footprints. Thank you for listening. I'm Bob Jones. If you're interested in hearing more fascinating life stories, be sure to find us at radio.cgtn.com or on any of your favorite podcast platforms. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.